For 13 years, Marcus Bell never missed a single day of work. Not when his car broke down in the dead of winter and he walked 2 miles through the snow to clock in on time. Not when he had the flu so badly he could barely stand, propping himself against the warehouse shelves between tasks. Not even on the morning his father was rushed to the hospital. He stayed his full shift, told no one, and drove to see him only after the final box was scanned. Marcus was the kind of employee every company claims they want. He covered the shifts nobody else would touch. He trained the nervous new hires who showed up not knowing how to do anything, and watched many of them get promoted above him within a year. He stayed late without being asked. He never filed a complaint. He never demanded a raise. He believed, with a quiet and unshakable faith, that loyalty was a currency. That if he just kept showing up, kept giving more than he took, the company would one day repay him. He was wrong. One ordinary Tuesday, a manager named Priya, a woman Marcus had personally trained 6 years earlier, back when she didn't know how to log a single invoice, called him into a small glass office. On the desk sat a plain white envelope. "There's been a restructuring," she said. Her voice was thin. She couldn't look him in the eye. "I'm so sorry, Marcus." 13 years, reduced to a single envelope and a sentence she'd clearly rehearsed. Now here's the brutal truth that nobody will ever say out loud in a company meeting. Loyalty makes you predictable. And in the cold arithmetic of business, predictable people are the easiest ones in the building to replace. Think about what loyalty actually signals to a company. It tells them you're not going anywhere. It tells them you'll accept whatever you're given. It tells them that no matter how little they offer you, no matter how long they make you wait, you will still show up tomorrow with a smile. And once a company knows that about you, your loyalty stops being an asset. It becomes a discount. Why would they pay Marcus more when they knew Marcus would never leave? So his raises crawled. 2% here, a tough year, hold tight, there. Meanwhile, job hoppers strolled through the front door earning nearly double what he made, simply because they'd learned a lesson Marcus never did. Companies pay to acquire people far more than they pay to keep them. His reliability, the very thing he was proudest of, became completely invisible. When a machine always works, you stop noticing it's there. You don't thank the lights for turning on. You don't praise the floor for holding your weight. Marcus had turned himself into furniture, dependable, silent, and utterly taken for granted. And then there was Dev. Dev was hired 3 years after Marcus and was, by every honest measure, a worse worker. He came in late. He vanished for long lunches. But Dev understood something Marcus didn't. Every 6 to 8 months, Dev would walk into management's office with another offer letter, real or invented, and calmly explain that a competitor was courting him. And every single time, like clockwork, the company scrambled. They raised his pay. They softened his schedule. They handed him the projects with the highest visibility. Dev wasn't more valuable than Marcus. Dev was just harder to keep. And the company rewarded difficulty, not devotion. Because here is the law that runs underneath every payroll, every promotion, every quiet restructuring. Companies don't reward loyalty. They reward leverage. Loyalty is what you give when you've decided you have no leverage. It's the white flag you wave before the negotiation even begins. The loyal employee never negotiates, never threatens to walk, never reminds anyone of his actual worth. And so, when the budget tightens and the spreadsheets demand a sacrifice, he is the safest possible name to cross off the list. He won't fight back. He won't lawyer up. He won't cause a scene. He'll simply nod, take the envelope, and thank them on his way out the door. Marcus did exactly that. He shook Priya's hand. He told her he understood. He even apologized for making the moment awkward for her. Then he packed 13 years of his life into a single cardboard box and walked out into a parking lot that suddenly felt enormous and unfamiliar. But this is not where Marcus's story ends. Because sitting in that car, staring at the building he'd given the better part of his life to, something inside him finally shifted. He realized the problem had never been that he worked hard. Hard work was good. Hard work was honorable. The problem was who he'd been working hard for, and the fact that he'd handed all of his value to a single owner who could erase it with one envelope. So Marcus made a decision. He would never again pour his loyalty into something he didn't own. He took the small severance and did something that terrified him. He started a tiny operation out of his garage, doing